Hi, once again, welcome to the Hot Show. It's your boy Eric, and today I'm with Tesh,
Yeah.
and we're going to be discussing a few things around the world of soccer. First of all, I would say congratulations to Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and the whole of the Portuguese team for getting through to the World Cup without having to play Italy. Yeah. Another thing we want to talk about today is about the situation with Manchester United about just regarding the coach and all of that. Yeah, before we digress into this, I know you're a Nigerian boy.
Hmm?
Are you disappointed that your country didn't go through to the World Cup?
I think there was always that feeling that Nigeria would qualify.
But you saw the game, right? Did you see how they played?
Honestly, while I was watching the game, I thought a 1-1 we were fine. Basically, we'll go to extra time because there was no sense of there was basically no urgency,
Oh.
no urgency from the players. I'm not quite sure if they knew
Mm-hmm.
what it called if the 1-1 draw and the away goal
And
we were playing.
They should be their footballers. They should know.
Exactly. So to me, I think the intensity, what they call the sense of urgency, I don't think it was there. I don't think they actually cared.
I don't have anything to say. One thing I know for sure is I've never been in support of the Super Eagles coach in the person of Austin Eguavon. I have never trusted that guy to do anything. The guy literally, for me, he not savvy.
I think to be fair to your point, there's no tactics, and again like the game seems dry. So I'm not let me not blame the players first of all. The game seems dry. Everything seems dry. I think it's just basically more so who you're playing against affects how you play.
No, it's not who you're playing against. If you want something, right,
You go for it.
you go for it.
True.
And first of all, you're home. You have the fans. Now this is the second leg. You have the fans at your back, right? Now, did you hear what happened? The fans storming into the pitch, and vandalizing the whole stadium and all of that. You didn't hear that? No.
No.
The way fans were so angry that they chased the players out of the pitch, which is wrong to me because
No.
from reports I read, they said Dangote, one of the biggest guy in Africa and Nigeria, right, actually spent over $1 million to repair the stadium. Now the fans, out of annoyance and out of anger, chased the players away, destroyed the infrastructure. Well, I would say congratulations to the Black Stars of Ghana for getting through to the World Cup.
It's so funny.
So they're gonna have my support this time in place of Nigeria. So who are your team for the World Cup? What teams are you gonna be
Honestly,
rooting for the World
honestly,
Cup?
to be fair to you, we're looking at the World Cup even in the past. While I'm a Nigerian, I've supported Nigeria. I've never been a fan of how they play football. Right? I don't think it's not sweet enough. It's not sexy enough. Right? I'll go for Portugal.
Okay.
Portugal. I think they have a very good squad. Although I think their coach is a bit lacking. To be fair, though, I'll go for Portugal. And on the African side, I'm not sure who qualify between Senegal and
Senegal pumped Egypt the second time in the space of how many months? He knocked them out 3 on penalties though. Actually, the game was tight, so I had to go with penalties. Senegal won penalties 3-1.
So I'll go for Senegal. I like Sadio. Mane is a very serious footballer. I'll go for Senegal.
I was gonna ask you just before we get into the whole Manchester United situation, just drifting aside. Do you think Mo Salah not going to the World Cup affects his chance of getting the Ballon d'Or?
There's no way Mo Salah was going. As in, sorry, let me rephrase. I won't say there's no way he was going to get the Ballon d'Or, but it was going to be difficult for Mo Salah to win the Ballon d'Or because every time he has done well, he's had strong competitors.
Yep.
And now you're having the likes of what they call again, likes of Lewandowski, who is still in the Champions League. Now you still have the likes of what they call Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Who is going to the World Cup because most times the World Cup is basically what they use to give the exactly the Ballon d'Or. You have again there are also surprises during World Cup, right? Like you see from what they call Luka Modric, right? He's a good player though, but then he showed what it was a different class. So I don't think Mo Salah, it would have been difficult for him, but he's up there, right, among the best players in the world currently.
Okay. Now moving to, so before we don't want to waste much of your time, right? Top 3 World Cup teams.
Top 3 World Cup.
So when I mean top 3, in your prediction, who's gonna win it, who's gonna come runner up, and who's gonna come third place?
I think I can't say that now because the draws come out on Friday.
Yeah. No, just we
just seen this again, and this will be wrong, horribly wrong. I can tell you for that horribly wrong. But I tipped France to go France.
No, I'm saying 1, 2, 3.
It's tough, honestly. That's many teams. So I know I can say who I think will get to what they call the last last 8.
Okay, my take is France, Senegal, Germany.
Yeah, Germany obviously will be there. England sometimes, right? England.
No, I am not rooting for England.
No, I'm not rooting for England.
They have too many
egos.
Not egos. They have too many overrated, below, not good enough players.
Politics. Politics is a big thing in English football. That shows again in Manchester United. If England were to probably pick based on what they call based on the best players, right? Not take out politics. England they have a very very good squad, very good squad, and I believe if well coached and gelled meshed together, they should get to the last 8.
No, speaking about England, they should get to the last 8. You say
last 8, yeah.
Not with the likes of Maguire and at the back.
No,
in the heart of the defense.
Again, you can see Maguire plays well for England because they play a back 5, which he's actually good at. And to me, I believe, right, with that, England might do well. Okay. England would go on a defensive shape and hope or counter. They've always been lucky having easier draws.
Okay. While we were driving to the studio, right, you and I were talking about the Manchester United situation.
Yes.
How a section of the fans, I saw a poll on Twitter, and about 80% of the fans wanted Ten Hag. 20% says they want Pochettino or any other person, right? So, and we had an argument about what do you think. Now the fans want Ten Hag. The ex-players, they want Pochettino.
Yeah.
Nicky Butt has come out the other day, 2 days ago, if not yesterday, saying Pochettino should be the man for the job, right? We hear news bits and here and there that Luis Enrique is also in the running. Lopetegui came out, the one of Sevilla, came out and said he ruled himself out, straight out, said he's not, But all of these are just speculations, right?
Yeah.
So what's your take about these old Pochettino, Ten Hag, Luis Enrique? Because for my take, if you put the 3 of them in front of me and ask me to make a decision, Manchester United say, okay, you know what, Eric, you're gonna make the decision for us. Ten Hag, Pochettino, Luis Enrique. Without even taking a breath, without even thinking it to, I pick Luis Enrique. Okay, but I know Luis Enrique, it's not gonna happen because he's committed to the Spanish team. Except he wants to say, you know what, I dropped the Spanish team at the eve of the World Cup. What's your take?
Honestly, to me, right, the problem with Mario right now, again, we see it from a coach can make a big difference, right, and more so to kind of stabilize the team. And when I mean stabilize, I mean more so give them you know what, we are steadily will be top 4.
Yeah.
The reason I say that because, right, if you look at all these coaches you've mentioned, right, Pochettino, Posh, Luis Enrique, they are all good coaches, right? And in that, I believe they will be able to take the ship from Manchester United.
Okay. They'll
be able to give it, and it's, you know what, I can guarantee you top 4.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. Where, as Manchester United, we need to go a bit above that, and that's where the structure and the board comes in play here.
Okay. Before you go further, let me just bring this out to you. I'm not in support of Porsche, neither am I in support of Ten Hag.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, I'll tell you, I 100% love Luis Enrique, right?
Yeah.
So, but Luis Enrique is not I don't think he's in the top 2.
Yeah.
Now we have Porsche and Ten Hag. Okay, now here's my take. When they gave Ole the job, now they said the players, Manchester United players want Porsche.
Yeah.
Manchester United board wants Porsche.
Yeah.
The ex-Manchester United players, they want Porsche. So it's looking like Porsche all the way. Now, one would say, okay, don't listen to the players, which is right. But again, you need to understand that when Ole was in charge, these guys actually, we are cool with him.
Yeah.
One of our biggest problems with Ole being in charge was the fact that he was not technically sound.
Yes.
Right? His decision making, in-game management, and all of that, even as far as his team selection, right? I think Ole was given full power to run the Manchester United team while he was here, the 3 years he was, right?
I believe so.
But he didn't really do it. He did a good job in terms of man managing. But when it comes to the technical part of it, like see it, for example, I'll take you back to the Europa League final, where the players done all they could and just needed a bit of inspiration from their coach. Ole doesn't have it. Ole didn't have it. Ole didn't provide it, right? So what I'm saying is if the players now want Porsche, they feel comfortable with Pochettino. And Pochettino on the other hand is better than Ole in terms of we believe Pochettino is technically sound, more gifted than Ole. Pochettino is a more technically what's the word now? Pochettino is more can actually have a good in-game management, right? So if you put the two of them on the scale, you're likely the scale is likely to tip towards Pochettino because of his technical ability, right? So if now the players wanted Ole, or the players were in love with Ole, or they all had a rapport with Ole, which made them do well in the games that we're seeing. But this season, everything went down the drain because the technical ability of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not show up, right? So if that be the case, and they have someone like Porsche that has this technical ability, do you actually see these players actually coming together and actually doing well, as to having a Pochettino, as having a Eric Ten Hag, who we know is gifted, who we know is as good as is technically sound as well.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I hate saying this, but it has never been. I know the past 10 years or the past. Let me not go as far as 10 years. Let me go as far as 6 years. The past 6 years, the people that have won the Premier League are coaches that never had experience in the Premier League. But before you jump at me, remember that Pochettino, when what's his name came in, he didn't win the league immediately. Pep Guardiola.
Yes.
When Klopp came in, he didn't win the league immediately.
Yeah, he had to acclimatize.
Good. So I'm saying Pochettino has been there, Premier League experience, which to me is not a factor. But okay, if the board wants to consider a Premier League, but I'm looking at the angle of the players want him. The players would listen to him, and in terms of that edge that he has over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, do you see it working?
Okay, so I'll break the questions into pieces. I'll start with one thing first, right? You said Ole was a good man manager. The answer is no.
Okay.
Yeah. The reason I said that is this, right? Because if you look at management, it's not just putting your hands around a player, it's also developing the players.
Okay.
Ensuring there's improvement in players' abilities in what they do. It's like an incremental improvement in what they do, right?
Okay.
And during Ole's term, what I saw from Ole was from a political aspect.
Okay.
Ole was basically playing to keep his job by favoring certain senior players.
Okay.
And in that, so those players will be behind him. That's why you see Ole got a very long stick behind him when things went sour. When it got to a point, those players basically, you know what, we are not going anywhere with this manager. He is not, as you mentioned, he is not technically sound. But we need to win. So at that point, right, so if when you say Ole is a good manager, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Because there are several players in that club and team that we see now that actually are bad, right? And although they're still playing now, they're still playing then. Mainly to an extent, Ole wasn't controlling the team.
Okay.
Yeah, mainly the board were controlling the team. But in the case of, for example, of Wan-Bissaka, it's clear Saka is not what called. Before we bought him, I knew it wasn't up to par. That money we paid for him. So again, if not for what's his name, the new coach, that lost career would have been gone. So
in Manchester United,
yeah,
for sure,
I've been gone, right? So again, so Ole was playing to keep his job, and Ole was playing favourites. So that's that. The next thing about what they call it now, Posh having I know you mentioned it has the management, which you're saying. It also has what they call the technical, right? Why do we think? Again, I have no preference on who we pick. To me,
I have a preference. Luis Enrique, all the way.
on who we pick. To me, I feel the all three managers are good. The board needs to change, right? So if we are bringing in Posh, which you say has the man management and also has what they call the technical skills.
Yeah.
I feel
that
might also hit a dead end, as it did with Ole.
Yep.
It did with Luis Van Gaal. It did with Mourinho. So to me, that hit a dead end as well. The same thing if they bring in Ten Hag.
Yeah.
That can also hit a dead end because why? Of the board. Posh to me. People say okay, it's past his prime. He has made mistakes.
Yeah.
But again, which is true. But now coming to think of comparing him to a Ten Hag, I think they are almost similar. Yeah. So I'm not sure why people have a preference. They are almost similar. They basically train people from the youth. They basically have Posh tends to be a bit. Posh plays attacking football sometimes. Sometimes they can play a bit defensive. He doesn't really have a good record with the Big Six. I believe he has lost almost all. Again, not quoting, but I know he has lost a lot with what they call with the top four being Man U, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Liverpool. So, and lastly to mention, right, the players now making a choice on the manager. To me, I don't agree with it. Okay. Reason being that, well, let me finish it. Reason being that, right, the players should be able to, once a manager comes in, sees who he wants based on style, and lets X and X go.
Okay.
So a player might want a manager, might already know he's playing, because probably he has a link to the manager. I don't think that should be the case. A player shouldn't have a say on who their manager is. Like saying an employee should have a say on who their manager is at a workplace. Right?
No,
so,
but I'm just looking at it from the point of the
familiarity, you mean?
Not more so familiarity, for ease of work.
Again, for ease of work, right? That would work.
Okay.
In its first period.
Yeah.
In the long term, that might not work. Because then, right, I can say okay. Because again, if Posh is a good coach, as they say, and he's given full control. If Maguire wants Posh, and Maguire keeps playing bad consistently, Posh should be able to bench him.
So now that's because we all keep, the fans are actually clamoring and wanting Ten Hag, right? Ten Hag. I've actually watched about 40% of Ajax games, right? And I actually I've seen how this guy's style of play is, which I admire, right? I've seen Luis Enrique's style of play, which I'm like, you know what? That's my number one, right? But when it comes to ease of work, I'm just, like you rightly said, no player should be able to determine who his manager is going to be, right? But I'm just looking at it from the perspective of ease of work. We already know Manchester United is being run poorly.
Yeah.
Now we all want to make the best out of the poor situation.
Okay.
So if getting Pochettino would lead us to breaking this trophy drought, right? I would say go for him.
Do you know Spurs? So Tottenham had a better structure compared to what Mane has now.
I disagree.
Because what, he had that theory that he could bring from from the youth setup. Although Levy tied his hands, right? He had a very low string budget, which he worked with, right? But where it all failed, and I know Levy currently is regretting that, is more so picking players over him, and that was what led to him leaving.
Okay. Now on the flip side of it, now on the others, in the blue corner, Pochettino we will assume is on the red corner, right? Because now it looks like it's a two-horse race, two-man. So on the blue corner is Ten Hag. What do you think is the? I wouldn't say what the pro. I wouldn't want to ask you what the pro is. What's the con? What's the disadvantage of employing Ten Hag?
Ten Hag. Again, it's always the unknown, right? It's always the unknown, right?
Yeah.
So always the unknown. How will this year fare? He's doing so well in Dutch league. Again, if you want to rank the leagues in the world, right? Dutch league falls way
Below the Premier League, yeah?
below Premier League, right? And again, now let's look at what he has done in the
No. Hold on that thought. Do you think, if you say Dutch League falls way below the Premier League, do you think a Burnley side will be able to defeat an Ajax side if they have to play a best of three?
That's a very, very good question.
With Sean Dyche and Erik Ten Hag both managing the team.
Let's not look Burnley. Let's look at what it called. Let's look at Leicester.
Okay. Do you think a Brendan Rodgers Leicester team will be able to defeat a Ten Hag Ajax team?
Right now, that's a very good one, right? If it was last year, I'll tell you, they'll give what it called
Ajax
hell.
Okay.
Right? They'll give Ajax hell, right? But because the reason being that, right, we could see they have more quality. More quality in Leicester.
Yeah.
Than Ajax.
Ajax.
Ajax is what it called. Ajax. Imagine you training. So now let's look at Leicester. We have Tillemans. We have Vardy. We have what we call Schmeichel, the keeper. We have their right back Pereira. We have their left back. What's his name? And we have the midfield Ndidi. We have the wing Gray. What do you call it?
No, Gray is no more there.
Gray's not. Sorry. What's his name? This boy's name. This
Barnes.
Barnes. So I have Barnes. So they have
Madison.
You have Madison, right? Which to me is overhyped. You have Madison, right?
Okay.
Now, if you look at the Ajax setup, right, most of the players that played, not most, was it basically from the Premier League that weren't good enough.
Yeah.
I could start with.
No, don't. When you say don't, good. Okay, go ahead, continue.
That the Premier League deemed
not good enough. Okay.
not so. The Premier League deemed not good enough, right? So look at the Halal. Look at the Tabish, Blind, right? So these guys again, and these are their top guys there.
Yeah.
They are top players there, right? So you can see, right? It's if they meet Leicester, I believe Leicester will win, but where that would be good to see.
Presently, currently in this current time, do you maybe Leicester is finding it difficult. Do you see an Ajax team with Ten Hag as the manager giving Chelsea the run for their money?
No. Chelsea will win. Chelsea will beat Ajax.
Easily?
Not easily, but they will.
Okay, I would say because of the quality Chelsea
possess. Of the quality, yes.
Okay, now do you see an Erik Ten Hag team giving Manchester United team a run for their money?
Yes.
Why?
Because
we have the Manchester United have the quality.
If we won them barely by mistake when I think he wasn't the coach then, correct, for when we played Ajax in the World Cup.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, in Chelsea, and that was then.
He came in 2000.
Yeah.
Was it 2017? I believe. Yeah.
That was then. Imagine now. Right, so they'll give Man U a huge problem. They will, and because why? The reason I say that, right? They are very mobile players.
So now back to my original question: what is the disadvantage? Because we barely have like 2 minutes to go. Yeah. What is the disadvantage of having Erik Ten Hag as Manchester United manager?
As if it's, I won't say it's a disadvantage. It's just more so, it's the unknown.
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. Erik Ten Hag most likely might do well. He has possessed the same quality. He possesses the same quality, right? Initially as Klopp did from what I call from the Bundesliga. Yeah. Right. So I think it might take a little bit of time to ramp up. But what I see is the unknown. What I see is positive. To if I'll call it out, I think it might be his ability to bring out the best from players.
Okay, before we go on, there's this question from Stephanie. Stephanie is saying, if Manchester United appoints Erik Ten Hag as their new manager, do you see Manchester United winning a trophy?
Instantly?
Instantly. But the question was, do you see Manchester United winning a trophy?
Okay, so instantly? No. Because the club, honestly to me, the club.
What if the club throw their weight behind him and be like, you know what, just look at the squad, tell us what you need, we'll fix it bit by bit, but give us the top 3 areas you want us to invest in, and they do it. Do you see Manchester United winning at least a trophy? Be it the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, Premier League, Champions League. No, I don't think they're going to be in the Champions League, Europa League or something like that. Do you see them?
Do you know it's very easy for us to train what they call body and physicality.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to train our mind.
Okay.
The mentality of most United players right now is done. It's poor. You could see from their body language, you can tell. Rashford, right? Rashford is one of them. Who else again we see?
Luke Shaw is one of them.
Luke Shaw again is one of them, right? And again, Luke Shaw, Rashford, Greenwood is not available. Bruno sometimes he becomes what they call he acts up when he's not getting his way. I think, right, but the players that are left, right, they have the mentality, but they might not have the quality.
Yeah.
And believe in Ten Hag can bring that from them. In that with 2 or 3 players added, and that's if United choose to say, you know, you have full power over Manchester United. He might not win a trophy in his first season, but certainly his next season.
Okay, now this is my question. Do you think Mauricio Pochettino will win a trophy if appointed Manchester United coach? 18 months, we give both of them 18 months. Do you think there will be a trophy in the cabinet?
You know what, right? That's where that's tricky, and you got me the first time, right? But it's being seen, and I'm going with Ten Hag. I'm going with Ten Hag and Klopp, kind of initial, not Klopp now. Klopp initial, what they call.
Yeah.
So now Pochettino, the reason why I would say I don't think so. Why is this? Because he has been here before.
Okay.
Right? And he has had an easy run to win the Premier League. And he lost what they call to Leicester.
So because we just have barely 1 minute. So your answer to Pochettino is no.
No.
In the 18 months. But for that of Ten Hag,
again,
possible yes.
Possible yes.
Okay. Now before we wrap up the show, my take is Pochettino has a point to prove if he's been sacked. Just the same way Thomas Tuchel had a point to prove when he left PSG. So in the 18 month spell, I would give both of them a yes to win at least a trophy. Now the question I asked you, I'm saying my take with the 2 of them is, this is my take, right? If Manchester United go hiring Mauricio Pochettino, and he gets a shaky start, or he gets a poor run of games, it will be easy for the fans to call his head, to ask for his head. It will be easy for the fans. But if it's Ten Hag, so Manchester United have to tread this water carefully. But if Ten Hag is been appointed and he gets a shaky start or goes for a run of poor games, right? The fans are going to be behind him, because guess what? He is the fans' favorite choice. So the fans would not want to, although there's going to be a point where there's going to be a breaking point if he continues like that. But I'm saying it will be a lot easier for the fans to swallow if it's Ten Hag than it is when it is Mauricio Pochettino.
Well, I'll acknowledge the fans, regardless of who the manager is, because both managers are good and they have a point to prove. Pochettino wants to bounce back. Ten Hag wants to.
Manchester United is not the basketball pitch where you want to bounce back.
Ten Hag wants to make a name for himself. I will tell them, please give both coaches a chance. Assume you've never known, because Pochettino to me, he still has technical abilities, right? So I would say give both managers a chance once they start. Let's back them.
Yeah.
Because to me, honestly, there's no much difference between both.
Okay.
There's no much difference. Like one have gone to the finals.
Yeah.
One has reached the semis and even beaten by what they call
one of them.
So to me, it's like they are both good coaches. with using poor material. If people can say, okay, he had Pochettino had an easy run, but people can get easy run and win World Cups.
Okay.
Right?
So
So
your take is the
so
fans
to
should,
me,
whoever
the
the
fans
whoever
should
be.
please give both of them chance.
We're gonna draw the curtain here with this final question. Do you see Manchester United Football Club board and owners making the right decision? It's a yes or a no kind of question. So do you see them? Yes or no?
No.
Good. Okay, guys, we've come to the end of today's show. We want to know what your comment is as touching the whole situation. You could leave your comment down in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe, like the video. If please subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our videos once they're being uploaded. And we'd like to hear from you. We want to know what you think about the whole situation as touching the Manchester United management and managerial decision, right? So you tell us what you think, and if you have any questions you want us to address, you can actually leave them on the comment section, and our next show would address them